My 2019 book. My 80s music weekend at Butlins Bognor Regis, 14th to 17th of June 2019. On Friday, 14th of June, Mum and Dad picked me up from my flat to go to Butlins Bognor Regis, once again for an 80s music weekend. I look forward to this every year now and couldn't wait to get there. We arrived at Butlins and went to collect our keys to our apartment. It was a lovely apartment done up in a seaside theme with lots of colours. We also had a patio to sit out on. After we had unpacked, we headed straight for Bar Rosso, where there was a DJ playing loud music. Everyone was dancing and having a great time. After Bar Rosso, we took pizzas back to the apartment for our tea. Then we got ready to go out to the Skyline for the Monster opening party. I wore my Funhouse t-shirt and Pat Sharp wig because we were going to see Pat Sharp that night in centre stage. After the opening party, we went into Hot Shots for the silent disco. I love the silent disco, and this year there were lights on our headphones so the DJs could see who was listening to them. After the silent disco, it was time to head to centre stage to get our places ready for when Pat Sharp came on. Last year, Pat Sharp was in Reds and I was able to get near the stage where I could easily see him. This year he was in centre stage and there were high barriers around the stage, so I had to strain my neck to see over the barriers. At midnight, Pat Sharp came on and I was very happy to see him. The security guard asked Pat if he would come over to see me, which he did, and we had our photo taken with him. The next day in Reds we saw a reggae band and a band called the Mariachis, who were both really good. After the bands, a DJ came on and played the Macarena for me, even though he wasn't supposed to, because the Macarena is a 90s song. I was very happy. On the night, we got dressed up in our new costumes. I went as George Michael from Wham, Dad went as Adamant, and Mum as Madonna. We went to another party in the Skyline, another silent disco in Hot Shots, and danced to some music in Bar Rosso. It was another great night. On our last day, there was more fun to be had in Reds. First of all, there were some comedians on who were very funny. Then it was time for Bingo Bango, which we'd never played before. We were given sunglasses, flower garlands, and a bingo card. We started playing bingo, then suddenly the music came on, and we all had to sing and dance. It was great fun. We then went to yet another silent disco, this time in the Skyline. We were walking along in the Skyline when suddenly we saw Lisa from Voyage dressed up as a nun. I couldn't believe my eyes and said, "How wonderful is that?" It was lovely to see her. On the last night we didn't dress up, but we went to centre stage to watch some bands and to Bar Rosso for some more dancing. I played on the Deal or No Deal game in the amusements and won lots of tickets. The next day it was time to go home, but before we did we had a walk on the seafront. It was then time to say goodbye to Butlins until next year. David and Susie's wedding, 20th of July 2019. On the 19th of July we set off for Weston-super-Mare for the weekend for David and Susie's wedding. We were staying in the Premier Inn on the seafront at Weston. Our bedroom overlooked the big wheel, the pier and the seaside. I could sit in bed and look out of the window at everything that was going on. The next morning we got ready to go to the wedding, which was being held at the Commodore Hotel in Sand Bay. It was a couple of miles away from our hotel, so we needed to go in the car. Just as Mum was getting in the car, a gust of wind blew her hat off. A man from our hotel ran out and stopped the traffic and Dad went running after the hat as well. They managed to catch the hat before it blew away. I thought it was very funny. We arrived at the hotel and had a drink whilst we were waiting for the wedding to start. The wedding ceremony was lovely, and David and Suze looked very happy. We then had a lovely meal and the speeches, which made Mum cry. After the meal there was a disco, which was great. We danced to the Macarena, the Cha-Cha slide, and lots of other party dances. It was a great day. The next morning I was really excited because we were going on the pier and I was going to have a ride on the ghost train. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get on it, but Mum and Dad managed to get me through the turnstile and into the cage. I was frightened and held on to Mum and Dad very tightly round their necks. We went through different rooms in a house where ghosts kept popping out at us and air was blown on us. At the end I said, "I love it. Can I do it again?" But Mum and Dad said I'll have to wait until next year. We had a lovely weekend in Weston-super-Mare, and I'm hoping I can go back again. Fun Run, Sutton Park, 5th of October 2019. On Saturday, 5th of October, me, Mum and Dad met up with Joe and Millie to do a 1 kilometre fun run in Sutton Park. I'd never done this before, so I didn't know what to expect. We all lined up and then we were off. Joe pushed me first. There was a little girl in front of me who was running very fast, but her dog ran out in front of her and tripped her up, so she had to stop running. Everyone was cheering us on and high-fiving us as we went past them. Then Millie took over pushing me. We were running very fast. The finish line was in sight. Everyone was cheering and clapping us, and I could see Mum and Dad waiting for me. I was the winner and got a lovely medal. And that's the end of my 2019 book.